What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Monday night, Note Night in American here for our fellow guests here. Also, thank you again for those listening to the Note Close Show podcast. We're excited to have you all here tonight. We've got some great content tonight, and I think you're really going to walk away with just some phenomenal, maybe a shit-eating grin on your face after tonight, because we're excited to have our special guest. But before I introduce him, hang on a second. We've got always a little bit of stuff to dive into here for a couple minutes here for you. Like I said, if it's your first time to Note Night in America, hey, welcome. We're glad to have you here. Thanks for taking time out between the NFL games of kickoff Monday night here as well. But we've got a variety of people on here. We have note and real estate investors that are joining us tonight from all across the country and the world. People interested in note investing and learning a little bit more about what exactly that is. These calls are recorded. I do see the red light. We are also live streaming these things to our YouTube channel as well. So I encourage you to go over to the WeCloseNotes.com YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any either Note Night in America or webinars or any other interviews that we got rocking and rolling on there as well. As always, you can go to WeCloseNotes.tv and then I'll forward you to there as well. But make sure you subscribe to the Note Night in America podcast and then also the Note Closers show as well. Pretty excited. We hit a big milestone between the two shows last week of over 500,000 downloads, over 500K, over 500 episodes. Excited about that, as well as a big thing with our different radio networks across the country. We surpassed actually 8 million downloads on our AM, FM radio stations. So if you're listening to this episode on those channels ranging from Tampa to Long Beach to Milwaukee to Macon and Vegas and Colorado Springs and Philadelphia, all across the country, we'd want to hear from you. Love to hear what you're looking for. And maybe you're looking for some deals in your neck of the woods. We can help you out with that as well, too. But always would love for you guys to review, subscribe, and take advantage of all the content, the interviews, the guests, and the vendors that we have on those different opportunities and different channels for you. But anyway, wanted to notice we did have our virtual workshop this last weekend. Upcoming here in 2 weeks, we have our fast track training taking place here in Austin, Texas. 3 days of intense training with us. It's a step that most people take after either sign up for the blueprint or our workshop. It's a great way to come in and hang out for 3 days in a small group setting to really take your note business to the next level. It's a bit of investment, but we're willing to do a payment plan for you guys if you're interested. But drop me an email at scott@weclosenotes.com. We'll make sure and get you on the horn, talk about what goes into it, and really dive into that information. But I don't think we've got any questions so far. So a little drum roll here, please, because tonight's topic, tonight's special guest has been doing a tremendous job, not just for our Note Mastermind members. He's done a really great job for them, but this guy, yeah, baby. And he put on his different colored glasses just so he looked a little bit like Austin Powers there. If you're in the note industry, if you're in the real estate industry just at all, one of the most intimidating things as a new note or real estate investor is who the heck do you call when you have an issue? What do I do to get a BPO? What do I do to get an O&E? Who do I call for a realtor? Oh my God, I need an NLS guy across the country. And that can take you a good 60 days to 6 months, or even some people a lot longer than that to find the type of relationships that are going to do really well. And so tonight's special guest has done an amazing job. He's got over 35 years of experience in real estate, title, mortgage, and notes. And our special guest and good friend, Dickie Baldwin, is joining us from the Baldwin Advisory Group. I've known Dickie for years. I mean, we go back, 5-6 years, Dickie, I think, something like that. At least, exactly. It's right.
At my age, I can't remember.
But you know what? That's okay. Sometimes it's good to forget some of those things out there. But we're honored to have you on here tonight. You have done a tremendous job in a short period of time with as we like to say, the Baldwin Advisory Group. So why don't you do a little, why don't you take a minute or two before we dive into it and just kind of share who you are, kind of what led to you putting the bag together for everybody and going from there, huh?
Absolutely. Thank you, Scott. And hello, everybody. Welcome to Houston as the Texans are playing the Saints right now.
Well, we'll be done before halftime, hopefully, for you.
Oh, okay. Bag. What is bag all about? As Scott had mentioned, I have been in the industry for 35 plus years, have done everything from being a realtor to a loan originator to wholesale lending, correspondent lending, warehouse lending, title business, as well as being in your shoes as an investor. Back in the old days when the note business really wasn't even known of. In March of 2018, knowing I was reaching the age of retirement, I did retire back in March of 2018. And as I've told everybody, after about 3 days of being retired, and realizing that I can't get a hole in one every time I go out and play golf, I started Baldwin Advisory Group, and better known as BAG. And I think as we go through the presentation, you'll understand what BAG is all about. The slogan is one bag for all your real estate services. As Scott mentioned, being new in the business, or even if you're an experienced investor, which I work with a lot of experienced investors also, I have put together a one-stop shop for virtually anything and everything that you need in investing. And we'll be able to go through the presentation. What I'm going to do is go through my website, explain all the different things that are available to you as an investor. Because if you get on the phone and let's say that you need a BPO, first you have to go on the internet, and then you have to find a company, and then you have to worry about the pricing, and then you also have to worry. Most vendors don't like to work with a one-off individual. And so part of the vision of the BAG is strength in numbers. Mm-hmm. Whereas a typical investor may do 5, 10 BPOs, broker price opinions, a year, I'll do 300, 400 a month. Vendors, even though it may be coming in one at a time, a vendor does not want to lose that kind of volume. Right. And everybody gets to participate in the share of the vision, be it BPOs, title searches, and as we go, we'll just show the whole 9 yards. You ready?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is, I think you were talking with Joel originally about the idea and stuff like that. And you gave me a phone call a while back about that. It's like, oh, this is awesome. I mean, I've got my Rolodex of contacts in my different markets, but that doesn't mean it's a perfect Rolodex for everybody. And you've got just great relationships, and you reached out to these vendors to help them. Hey, I've got a bunch of one-offs, or I got a bunch of investors that want to do stuff that I can come as the mass, as the bulk guy, and I'll handle a lot of this individual orders for you, and vice versa. And they were more than happy. Yeah, 50 BPOs a month, 300 BPOs a month. Yeah, that's a lot of that's a lot of things. And you've you hit a couple milestones recently too with the number of orders you've taken and fulfilled across the board, right? Too, Dickie?
Yeah, since the BAG has started, and really, thank you, Scott. This is the very first podcast of the BAG network. Really haven't advertised. The folks that I have worked with are ones that I have dealt with throughout the years, as well as the mastermind group, and have done a little over 1,000 individual orders since the website went live the last week of December 2018.
Wow, that's awesome! 1,000 plus orders in 9 months, roughly. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, are you getting enough? If you still have enough opportunity to play golf?
Yeah, I live on the course. In fact, I'm going to have about 30 minutes of daylight for halftime of the Texans game.
There you go. There you go. So
now, this has really been fun. It's if you notice this little thing behind me, it says "Happy Birthday." Just like I told the group in Dallas, Scott, when I announced my birthday was going to be September 17th, and I do like scotch.
Single malt or blended?
Blended. And so I'll be turning 71 this coming September. And what I'm doing, yes, it's a lot of hours, but I have helped so many people out in situations with their BPOs, with their title searches, with finding assets, finding a servicer, just about anything that you need. And with your permission, I'd really like to get into the crust of things.
Let's do it, brother. Pull up, do your screen and pull up your website. And I'm going to turn the mothership over to you. I'm here and I'll be looking at questions and stuff like that. But run with it, brother. Definitely.
All right, here we are.
And just so you know, you've got some fans out there. Laura Blunt comes across as Dickie is the best bag in town. His contacts are the best guys. So, okay, thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura. I appreciate that. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir. We're good to go. I see your screen.
Okay, fantastic. Well, this is the bag network. As you can see, bag, Baldwin Advisory Group, one bag for all of your real estate services. To make it simple and to get the full effect of everything, let's just scroll down on the home page. And Scott, what I'd like to do is go through each one of the different services, and each of the different services has its own very specific order form that everybody can complete, hit submit, and then it immediately comes to me. So now, Scott, let me ask real quick, of the registered people watching tonight, are most of them experienced, inexperienced, mixture?
Oh, I would say we lean more on the experience to definitely experience side. It may be relatively new in the note business. I mean, don't get me wrong, we've got plenty of experienced note people on here, but people that are new to the note side of things, I mean, they may understand a BPO and a full title report, stuff like that, but they don't maybe understand everything that goes along with it. So I think let's do this though. Let's treat it like we got brand new people on here, because you've got people coming across. I mean, this is going to hit a couple million listeners across our different radio networks. So let's just treat it like we're dealing with brand new people then.
Fantastic. Well, what I've done in that case is, if you'll notice, like a BPO, and here is a brief explanation of what a BPO is, a broker price opinion. If you want to get into the BPO, just come on. There we go. Here is a full explanation of a broker price opinion. It's not a CMA. A broker price opinion is done by a realtor. And real quickly, there's always the debate. Oh, I'm going to get on the phone and I'm going to call a realtor and try and get them to go out and take a look at the property. I'm in favor of that, but what I like about using my vendors for a BPO, they are done by a local agent. And that job of that agent is to go out and do a value, not to try and get the listing, but to get a value. Once that agent completes the BPO, it then goes back to the vendor into a quality control. And if QC does not agree with the value or the comps or something about that, they will send it back to the agent for revisions. And to me, that's a plus, because you have an extra set of eyes. Assuming that you would want to do a BPO, you can simply click that button. On the client information, give company name, your name, phone number, and email. What is the subject address, city, state, and zip, and access if it's going to be an interior. If it's an exterior, obviously you don't have to know if it's on a lockbox or who to contact. And then simply checking off, you want an exterior BPO, an interior BPO, or even a full appraisal, which I've also just arranged to do what is called a hybrid appraisal. It's in between a BPO and a full appraisal, basically where the vendor will go out and take pictures of the subject, both interior and exterior, whichever one you're ordering. And then it is given to a licensed appraiser, which I work with a lot of lenders that like to do that when they're making the determination as to whether or not to loan money on the property. Also, there's a property inspection report that's available in exterior as well as interior. You type the code in, hit submit, and then that immediately comes to me. And I will personally place the order for the BPO. If I've got any questions, I will call you immediately when that comes across and talk about it. Otherwise, it's ordered right away.
Now, did the people that ordered, do they get an email alert that it's been placed, that they've gotten that's been ordered?
It will.
Nice.
The system, as time's going on, this will become more and more automated. Yep. But yes, once that submit is done, then my web designer is working on notifying the client that the order has been sent.
Great. And for those that are listening, because we've got some call-in listeners and people listening online, Dickie's website is baldwinadvisorygroup.com. And that's what we're going through. He's rolling through that, whether you're listening on this or watching this or reading about it. It's baldwinadvisorygroup.com. Just scroll down from it, and then you've got basically each section is highlighted. We just clicked on the BPO section. So he's kind of walking through that and then just walk through the form. So it's a pretty good thing. So what's a let's talk about that. What's the difference in prices for somebody that's brand new that hasn't ordered BPOs before, or internal or external? There's probably a difference in breakdown in pricing a little bit, isn't there, Dickie?
Yes, obviously as more volume from a particular client comes, they're able to get into the bulk rating. Generally is in the $100 range. The one at a time, as long as it's not rural, will be in the neighborhood of 115.
Yeah.
And in a BPO, let me explain what comes with the BPO. You'll get pictures of the subject, as well as the street, as well as address. And then there are 3 recently sold comps in the neighborhood and 3 current listings within the neighborhood. And these are all done through MLS. Typically, they don't like using for sale by owners and things like that, because the pricings will vary so tremendously in those situations. And try, if at all possible, to stay away from REO and distressed properties. Those will be in the neighborhood, as I said, of $115. On an interior, where we will have to have access either by lockbox or agent, somehow to get into the house, and the agent will make an appointment to go in. They will take pictures of all of the rooms, and along with it, just like on the exterior, you'll have an as-is value and then a estimate of after repair value. Keep in mind that on an exterior BPO, you typically are not able to see the inside, and so you don't know if it's trashed out. you're looking more at the roof, siding, things of that nature. The other thing that you have to be concerned about and be aware of, not concerned, but agents are pretty well instructed not to get on the porch or go in the backyard, because in some of the neighborhoods where the properties are, they don't want to get shot. And I get a lot of requests. Please take pictures of the air conditioning in the backyard or the side. And if it's visible, they'll make every effort. If there's any special instructions that can go in the comments, I can put that along with the order. In fact, I'm doing one right now. They wanted a value on the house, as well as what would the land be if because there was a mobile home on it, what would the land be? So I was able to put that into special instructions so the agent would be able to keep that in mind. Also, you can do a property inspection report where this is just a drive-by. They will take pictures of the exterior, and or if we're able to get inside the property, they will do an interior, but no value is given. No comps or listings are given, and those typically are in around the $45 range for an exterior and $65 to $70 on an interior.
Wow, that's good.
And I might mention the hybrid appraisal that I just talked about, which a lot of people are starting to use now, because the thought of an appraiser versus an agent, you're in about the $220 range for an interior and about $195 for the exterior.
Right.
Any questions on these?
I got a question. Karen Burns says, I appreciate Dickie's genuineness from working with you. And Doug Shashini says, Dickie's works on the deal I'm working on with Logan was great.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to turn the speaker up just a little bit. Okay. Can you hear me better now?
I hear you great, brother.
Okay. Well, fantastic. Yeah, I love working with Logan. Great guy.
He's done a good job. We're really proud of what he's doing.
Absolutely. All right. Let's, any more on the BPOs?
I think we're good. Let's jump on over to the next one.
All right. Let's talk title searches. Title search, basically, where it's done online as well as with abstractors, depending on the county and township and areas. But the whole purpose of a title search is to make sure that you have no taxes, liens, judgments, anything that would be clouding the title. And within that, here's another very specific order form, where once again, the client information, the company, your name, phone, email, the subject property address, and are you wanting a current owner search? A lot of times that's called an O&E report, and that's just the one owner. A foreclosure REO full search. The full search to owner is typically used in the REO arena, although there's a lot of folks that have notes that are contract for deeds, and they will request a to owner search. You can even go back to a 30-year search. I also do commercial along with residential. And then some of the products are available for an update. If you've run a report through me, let's say 2 or 3 months ago, and you wanted to do an update, you're in about the $35, $40 range to do an update. To do an O&E report, you're in the neighborhood of $85 with all the recorded documents. And in the full search, you're in the neighborhood of $100 with documents. And then the update, as I said, is around $35, $40. And then there's an online that I personally have access to where I can do what's called a property detailed report. Several of y'all on the call, I believe Laura's done some property detailed reports as well as a total overview report. Property detail report just gives basic information, address, legal, and ownership. And they typically run around $5. And a total overview will let you know if there's been a foreclosure process, and they're typically in the $20 to $25 range. Once again, entering the code, hit submit, that immediately comes to me. If there's any questions, I'll get a hold of you right away. Otherwise, it's being placed. I might mention, Scott, that over the first two items that we've discussed, the BPOs and the title searches, I'm not restricted to just one vendor, because there's times where, for instance, a BPO, they may not have an agent within the area, and another one of my vendors may have it, so there's not that rural charge, because the rural can range an additional $25 to $100+ depending on how close an agent is and how far they have to drive to do the report. Same with title searches. So the great part about what I'm doing is I've reached out to the vendors that are currently in the bag, and I have worked in some shape, form, or fashion with all of them or their personnel throughout the 35 years that I've been doing this. Any questions on title search?
No, man. I mean, it's good stuff there for you. I think it's one of the most, probably would you say between the BPOs and the O&Es are probably the two biggest things you're getting orders on?
Yes, most definitely. Here's one that I'm real excited about: REO and notes. Because of being in the business for so long and knowing a lot of sellers that have assets to sell, they're reaching out to me and asking if I can help find them a buyer. On the other hand, I've got a lot of buyers that are reaching out to me and asking me, can I help them find some assets? So if you notice the two hands shaking right there, what the bag does will connect a seller and buyer. And how do I do that? Well, once again, go to the order form. Once again, collect all the information, the company, their name, phone, email, and then they let me know, are they a seller? Are they a buyer? Are they a private or institutional? And do they want notes? Well, if they want notes, they want just performing, they check performing. If they want non-performing, they check non-performing, et cetera, et cetera. For residential, commercial, and do they want bulk or individual? And here's the important thing: list what states you want. Being in the industry for so long, I see tapes going across the internet all the time where there may be states on there that you don't even care about. I'm trying to minimize that. So, for instance, if Scott has a note in Wyoming as a seller and a buyer has completed this form and they tell me they want Wyoming, my database will tell me I've got a Wyoming seller and buyer, I simply put that buyer directly with Scott. And then Scott negotiates the pricing, giving out collateral, all the negotiations. My purpose of what I'm doing with this is just to connect the right kind of buyer and the right kind of seller and not waste anybody's time. The other thing is REOs. Are they wanting residential, commercial, bulk, individual, rehab, zero to light, light to medium? Once again, list the states. You can put the range of values. That is not quite as important. The states and what they're looking for is any comments, put the code in, hit submit, and then this information is immediately put into the database where I have all the sellers that I work with, all the buyers, and it's just a matter of matching the states up.
Got a question from Randy here. He asked the question, are these services for every state in the United States?
Yes, they are. Yes, everything I do is nationwide, both residential and commercial.
Mm-hmm. Desi and Pat says that Dickie rocks. Our buddy Desi Arnaz.
Hey, Mr. Desi, that's my buddy. He and Pat.
They're great people.
Folks.
Yeah.
All right. What's an RMLO? It's a residential mortgage loan officer, but my RMLO will originate seller finance mortgages compliant to Dodd-Frank and issue a certificate as such.
Boom, shaka laka, everybody. That's a big thing there. Big thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, let me real quick, let me back up because I don't want to get it. This item, the BPOs, the title searches, and the REOs, I will be directly involved with from beginning to end. The rest of the services, what I have done is make arrangements with the vendors that I'm representing, I'm marketing for. And if you need an RMLO, you'll go in, hit the read more, click, give me your information. Where's the property located? What is the purchase price, the loan amount, the estimated closing date? Is it a note and deed of trust or contract for deed? Enter the code, hit submit. What I will do is introduce you directly to my RMLO. He will immediately email you, arrange a call, and you're dealing with him one-on-one. You don't have to reach out to me from the time that you order. The next deal that you do with the RMLO, you don't even have to call me because you're already registered with that vendor. Simple?
Very simple, man. That's a huge thing. That's an awesome thing these days because I know there's been a lot of people talk about, oh, I need to go get an RMLO in each state. And that could be a bit of a list, especially when you're buying non-performing notes or contract for deeds and look at Originate. And you've got a guy that does it everywhere, and it's a rarity. That's like a needle in a haystack for the most part. That's
absolutely. And I have just saved you hours of time on the internet.
Yeah. Plus, also, do you know what he charges to Originate on that, or is it vary state by state? Some
right around $4.99.
That's awesome, man.
And then he's also able, for an additional fee, he can draw pertinent docs for the transaction.
Oh wow, that's great stuff.
Yes. Okay, lawnmower. What does that mean? Property preservation.
That means too much work.
You like all my little symbols?
I love them, man. I love them. They look great.
On the property preservation, there's companies that I work with that hire contractors to go out and do just about anything of repairs or winterization, whatever needs to be done on a property. And we'll click this on. This is just to give an idea of the extent of preservation, property preservation. Once again, and please, this is the only way I can contact you is complete your company name, your name, phone, and email. Then the subject address, but you need lock work done. Doorknob lock only, deadbolt, lockbox, padlock. Just a matter of checking whatever needs to be done. You need window glazing, check whatever box needs to be done. Boarding, somebody busted the windows out. Debris removal, landscaping. This is miscellaneous work, but here's something that every investor needs to start thinking of right now in September. Don't wait like one of my clients did in Wisconsin, and he called me in, I think, the end of November, 1st of December, and he said, I need to get winterized. Start thinking about if you've got vacant properties that you own up north, call me and I can help you get that place winterized. So really start thinking about that right now. And I'm not going to go through every one of these, but you can see all of the different items that can be done. Once again, put the code, submit. I will definitely follow up with this to make sure we're not missing anything, and then introduce you to the appropriate vendor that where I know if they have crews in that particular area or do not. Questions? No questions. Next one, real lightly, I've got various private money and hard money lenders that I have relationships with. Real quickly, it too has a very specific order form, and I've tried to get a variety of lenders where they all don't have the same thing. Lines of credit, business loans, commercial, residential loans, fix and flips, buy and hold. Some of the lenders are very creative in what they will loan on and where they will loan on. I even have a lender that will loan down to $25,000, $30,000, which is pretty unique.
Yeah, it is.
I don't want to spend a lot of time on that one because I know that we're
doing good.
A little bit short. Title and escrow. I can do a traditional closing, and we all know what a title and escrow is, so I won't go and explain everything. But once again, client information, subject property information. Traditional closing obviously is going to be an owner's policy. A lot of note folks now are looking into lender title policies. And Scott, you may want to do a presentation one day just strictly on lender title policies.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We've actually been thinking about doing that here before too long. You're 100% right about that. So
there's a lot of times too where a seller wants funds to go into an escrow, or a seller may want the funds to go to escrow. My title companies will also do that. And then they also are able to do the current owner report, the to owner, et cetera. Typically, I don't go through my title companies if it's just going to be a current owner search or two owner. I will go through the title company if we know there's going to be a lender's title policy or something that's going to require title insurance. And so they will utilize their own product for that. All right, real quick. Title curative work, release tracking. There's a lot of times when you do get your reports, you'll find out that something may not have been recorded properly, or real quick, I ran into a situation where I had a first and a second. The second was a HELOC. The first got refinanced. So did the HELOC, but the HELOC still showed up as a lien. The attorney and the client worked for months to try and get it cleared out through Wells Fargo and First American. They couldn't do it. They shifted it to me. My vendor had it done. He got that HELOC positioned to where it's supposed to be and showed it on title in less than a week.
Nice. Yeah, you'll see that happen sometimes where lines of credit don't get released, don't get removed. We see that happen. Some juniors. I actually had that happen recently on a property in Houston, Texas. We did where the lien wasn't released from Bank of America. It took forever to get done. So it happens occasionally out there. You got to be careful about that. But it's good to have somebody that can go get it done who specializes in that.
Because you really wouldn't know where to go to get it done.
That's right. That's so right. Especially if the lender, the bank's no longer in business anymore.
Right. Absolutely. Collateral review. There's many of you that will be new investors and even old investors that just don't have time to go completely through a collateral package. And even if you did go through it until you get the experience, you may not even know what you're looking for. So in short terms, the collateral review will tell you what you do have, what you don't have, and what you should have in order to make an intelligent decision of moving forward with that asset. And this also has a order form, just as the title curative did. Once again, each order form is very, very specific about what the service happens to be. Assignments and recordings. We all know that in the note business, you don't use the title company, you use the assignment from one seller to the buyer, and then that needs to be recorded. Get several vendors that, even though some people try and do that on their own, and I don't know all the pricing because they vary from state to state, but it's very, very inexpensive to outsource assignments and recordings. Record and document retention. If you've got a whole bunch of files like Laura does, you don't want to put them in a cardboard box in your bedroom. This vendor will store original docs for you.
Especially with Laura having 2 new puppies at the house that probably like to chew on some stuff. Yeah.
Mortgage servicing. It used to be you didn't have to worry about mortgage servicing, but every state and just the knowledge of the business, you need that third-party servicer. I've got several nationwide servicers that can do the work for you, collect the payments when they come in. Self-directed IRA. And Scott, if I'm going too fast, but I know that you were limited on time.
You're good, brother.
Okay. Self-directed IRA. I'm sure many of you are investors that do have a self-directed IRA. I get calls every day. Hey, I'm with so-and-so, but do you have anybody else that I can talk to? just in case I won't want to move. Yes, I do. Not a big business, but it's good to know this guy. Nationwide IRS tax attorney. He'll take on tax disputes with the IRS of $10,000 or more. He even received a letter from the IRS telling him how good his fights were against them to dispute a case. That's pretty encouraging.
That's really encouraging.
But it's not the guys you see on TV. I mean, this is a very small company, but very, very efficient. Here's one of the things that I'm really, really proud of, Scott, is Nationwide Realtor Network. And I keep on mentioning Laura. You mentioned Laura. Laura could probably talk for an hour about this little service right here. What I have done is create an investor-friendly realtor network where I will eventually, I've got about 70 right now, where I will eventually have an investor-friendly realtor in every major city of the United States. These realtors not only are able to list, sell, property manage, but as Laura can tell you, they can clean property out. They can cut the grass. They can sell a property. They can put a tarp on a roof, because the realtors that I'm reaching for, they need to understand that most of the investors are out of state. You don't want to jump on an airplane, and you want to have a trusted individual that can handle the work for you, feet on the ground. There's a lot of real estate agents out there, but believe me, it's tough to find truly investor-friendly realtors. But when I vet them, I hope that either they have their own construction companies or they work closely with local contractors, which also helps if my property preservation doesn't have coverage in the particular area. My investor-friendly realtor might. Questions on that?
No, but that makes sense, though. I mean, that's yeah. If you don't have, if especially maybe not to bigger areas, but definitely some of the mid-sized cities, secondary market stuff like that. I agree. That's a great having the Nationwide Realtor Network is critical in this business.
And here's the great part about these realtors too. Many of them work with their local banks and or credit unions on their distressed assets. Mm-hmm. But typically a realtor's investor base is in their own backyard. So the realtors are starting to let me know if they have assets available where I can go right back to my REO and OAT registration form and see if anybody has registered that may want assets within that particular area.
There you go. Nice.
And it's not just REOs. A lot of these realtors understand the note business also. Other Nationwide Attorney Network. You mentioned Desi. I just hooked Desi and Pat up with several attorneys, one even in Minnesota. I pretty well have the United States covered. These are attorneys that, as it says, can help with foreclosure, evictions, bankruptcy matters, pre-foreclosure, preparing real estate documents. And lastly, skip tracing. I'm in the process of, I've got one vendor right now, and this is one of the items that, once again, depending on the size of the pool, you I don't want to limit your sources to just one. If I've got one that's covering everything, that's great. Sometimes a vendor just doesn't cover the whole United States, and that's my goal.
Yep. We got Laura mentioned something on here because the guy Dickie got me in on Ohio is tremendous. They cleaned out, secured, marketed, and sold our Toledo asset in 1.5 months from start to finish. That's great.
Yeah. Real quickly, going towards the bottom, some of the folks that have been supportive of the BAG network, Mr. Eric. Oh my gosh, who's that right there?
That's a damn good looking fellow right there.
Dave Franecki out of Arizona.
Dave's a good guy.
Dan Deppin out of Colorado. Phil and Melanie Jacob out of Michigan. Oh my gosh.
There's Laura.
Lady. Hi, Laura. And I really appreciate the comments. And many times Laura, she get on the phone and reach out for a BPO or something like that. But fortunately, she calls BAG. And then quickly, some of the affiliates that I work with are PaperStack, which I'm sure if you're not familiar with PaperStack, please reach out to me and I'll tell you everything I can about it. There's a publication which I have been fortunate in called REI Inc. And I have a full page ad in each of the publications. And if any of y'all are interested in attending the Note Expo, which will be held in Dallas, Fort Worth in November, you can also register right here through my website. Good stuff.
Good stuff there for you.
That's BAG.
That's BAG. That's everything in your bag, baby. All right. What questions, comments, what questions do you guys have for Mr. Baldwin tonight on Baldwin Advisory Services? What's your typical turnaround time for you to reach back out to somebody is what, 12 to 24 business hours, basically?
No, typically if somebody emails me, within an hour or two, unless I'm gone. But you'll hear from me typically within a couple of hours.
Yeah, if you don't, that's a big thing I want people to know. If you don't hear, then make sure and follow up. Dickie does a great job with follow up. I'm not saying he isn't. I'm just simply saying, hey, make sure don't if you put an order on Friday night, you may not see it till Monday just because of travel or other things like that, right, Dickie?
Correct. And if you do need me, my phone number is on the website. And in fact, I even have a contact page here, which very seldom do I go look at. God, that's me.
There you go.
I love my saying.
Just say hello. That's right, baby.
If real estate's your game, Dickie Baldwin is the name.
That's great stuff there, Dickie. Great stuff on there.
The email, dbaldwin@baldwinadvisorygroup.com. And I might mention that if you don't want to fill out the order form, many of the folks that I work with right now, they know that they can email me and things are taken care of without the order form.
Right. Well, let's make sure that people are still filling out the order form for you, just because the fact is you're getting a lot of business, but getting busier on that stuff. So it's always better to have the tracking that it's gone through the forms and stuff like that too for you, right?
Right. And the other thing I want to mention, Scott, is yes, I put a lot of faith in the vendors that are working with the BAG network. But if a situation ever arises that you're not getting the kind of service and responses that you want, then I need to know about it, because I don't deal with the business development person. I'm dealing with the VP and the owners of the company.
Mm-hmm.
And so your input is crucial if they're not doing a good job. And even if they are doing a fantastic job, I need to know about it.
Yeah. Now, are you also open if somebody's got some good realtors for recommendations to add to your realtor network, to add other?
Absolutely. I'm always looking for good investor friendly realtors, and I use that term heavily. But by all means, anybody that has had satisfaction with the realtor, please let me know, and I will reach out to them right away.
Yeah, and then also, if you can't get no satisfaction, Bag can help you out that with his own network there. Now, question there, besides Scotch and blended Scotch that you like, what's your handicap since you're playing on the golf course all the time?
Well, like they say, my biggest problem is I stand too close to the ball after I hit it.
That's all right. I also, when somebody asks me what my handicap is.
I will say this. Because of my age, I have now moved up to the forward tees. I can't drive a ball 300 yards anymore. I'm not a Dan Deppen.
Nothing wrong with that. When people used to ask me what my handicap was, I said it was a six pack. Question here from somebody out here. Tony asked a question. What's the cost of using the skip tracer?
It varies. The pricing is, all I can say is it's extremely inexpensive. It's and it ranges from like 0 to 10. Like I was talking with the skip tracer today, and he had gotten in 575 addresses that needed skip tracing on, and that would probably relate down to about maybe 10 cents a hit. I mean, it's very, very inexpensive.
Yeah, let's not say 10 cents a hit on that stuff, but it depends on the in-depth of what you're looking for on that stuff too.
The in-depth and the quantity.
Yeah. So I'll tell you this, I've used them. I've used Dickie for BPOs, O&E, skip tracing. Great stuff. I mean, great stuff there. I'm actually about to send some stuff over to you for pull some BPOs and some stuff as we're getting ready to move some stuff here off of the books as well too for you.
Okay.
What are the questions you guys have out there tonight? Bob, Bill, Gary, Hassan, Jack. What are the questions you guys have? Sylvia asked the question, what's the cost for third-party escrow?
That will vary on the amount. And once again, because I never want to misquote,
yeah.
If someone is interested in third-party escrow, even if you don't use them, let me make the introduction.
Yeah. That's a great point. Because if you're using,
I would request, I'm sorry, real quick, I would request that everybody, if at all possible, complete the REO and note form, because I'm starting to get more and more product in.
Yeah.
And it's just another source.
Yeah. Will King asked, what's the cost of getting into your program, Dickie?
Call me or email me. How about nothing?
Yeah, there you go. That's what we're trying to get at here, everybody. There's no like sign up fee. There's no $19.95 a month. This is nothing. How Dickie makes his money is the fact is that he's got these relationships, like either pay him a little bit of affiliate split or is a bit of splitting things, but he's still delivering the cost cheaper than what you would normally. So Will, there's no sign up fees. You can use Dickie services or his vendors for one or wherever. There's no difference in the cost. That's why we thought it was such a valuable thing to bring him on Note Night in America out there. That's why we introduced him to the mastermind group first, get things rocking and rolling for him. And you've done a great job with the website up and down. I was like, okay, you're now ready. Let's bring you into the big time there for you, brother.
Thank you so much, and thank you and your group and everybody on this call for everything that the future holds for us.
Yeah, you're going to be busy. So once again, everybody, BaldwinAdvisoryGroup.com is the website, BaldwinAdvisoryGroup.com. Dickie's email is dbaldwin, BALDWIN, like Baldwin, like it is, Baldwin, dbaldwin@advisorygroup.com, or you can reach him via phone number at 936-447-4170. Once again, is 936-447-4170. But I would just recommend going over to the website, BaldwinAdvisoryGroup.com. Check it out. All his information is there. Reach out and say hello. All right. If real estate's your game, Baldwin is the name.
Scott, thank you so much.
Hey, anytime, Dickie. Thank you so much for taking time on your Monday night. And great job as always, brother. We look forward to working with you more and helping you grow even further out there. Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Great. All right, everybody. Hey, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Once again, go check out BaldwinAdvisoryGroup.com. Trust me, you will be very happy. You'll saw the people coming through, leaving great comments and testimonials and things like that. You should know by now, we like to bring on the best of the best out here. And Dickie's done an amazing job with his just a few decades of experience out there. And don't forget, he likes blended scotch when you see him out. All right. Everybody go out, have a great evening tonight. Everybody be safe out there. And we'll see you all at the top, everybody. Bye. Good stuff. Great job, Dickie, as always, brother.
Hey, thank you, Scott. I really, really appreciate it.
Anytime. I will. I'll shoot you an email tomorrow, or I'm probably going to give you a phone call tomorrow. Talk about some of these assets, and we'll go from there. All right.
Okay. Fantastic.
Thanks, bro. Bye.
Bye-bye.